All right, everybody. How are we doing on this Thursday? It is the first week of school for a lot of students, about to wrap up that. It's almost the end of the work week, so that's exciting as well. And not only are we tracking a couple storms out there, but we are also tracking the tropics. Erin continuing to fire up across the central parts of the Atlantic. We could be seeing a tropical storm to a Category 3 hurricane plus, even as we take a look at the next couple of days. And again, this is in a matter of about 72 hours, so it's going to be very telling in the next couple of days as we take a look at Erin and not only the trajectory of Erin, but also just how quickly this is going to pick up, because it is quite literally going to go from 0 to 100 real quick over the next couple of days, just because of how warm the water is. But we are also seeing a couple storms out there right now just continuing to fire up just a little bit. But then we're going to continue to see things very much quiet down headed through the rest of the overnight tonight. So definitely write in with any tropics questions, because that'll be the main focus for the rest of the evening. But let's actually take a look at current radar. We saw a couple of storms popping up. Daytona all the way down to New Smyrna Beach, and even northern Brevard County, we saw that. And then also we saw some of those storms continuing to fire up further down the I-75 corridor and even down the I-4 corridor as well. We're seeing a special weather statement in Polk County, so not necessarily in our viewing area, but Haines City, Lake Wales. I know we have a couple of folks watching from there. And also Winter Haven, hey, going to be seeing a little bit more of those storms continuing to fire up as we take a look at in a little bit. So Alice, Winter Haven right now seeing a lot of rain and a lot of lightning. So we're going to continue to watch that as we head through the rest of the evening, because yeah, that is a lot of rain out there. Haines City, Cypress Gardens, even down to Lake Wales, Auburndale, and Polk County, going to be seeing a good amount of that rain and lightning. But it does look like we are starting to see that storm lift up ever so slightly, so slowly going to be watching that. Luckily not seeing any rotation with that. That's good news right there, but could be seeing a little bit of hail. Not necessarily picking up on any right now, but just how quickly that storm is picking up, and we're still continuing to see those lightning strikes pick up as well. We may be seeing a little bit more of that continuing as we head through the rest of the evening. Hey Fritz from Malabar, how's it going on this Thursday? Little bit of sheer by Winter Haven, but nothing too bad out there right now. But we are live on Fox Local, we are live on YouTube, we are live on Facebook, so feel free to write in and say hi as we continue to kind of break down what is in store for us as we head through the rest of the evening. So I am actually going to be switching a little bit in between not only our Facebook page, but I do want to keep up to date on our tropics, because we have not seen an update yet from the National Hurricane Center, so we might be doing a little bit of editing live, but that's currently what's happening right now. But first off, it was hot today. I didn't spend too much time outside, because by the time I quite literally got up and motivated, it was already too blistering hot in order to actually do anything productive outside. Where some areas did get rain, we were seeing those temperatures already very chilly. So Palm Coast, Daytona Beach, New Smyrna Beach, already throughout the 80s and low 90s, and then still continuing to see those temperatures really pick up as we take a look up towards Gainesville. That didn't get any rain earlier today, and even down near Orlando, where we did see some showers, but not full drench. Those temperatures are already starting to cool down. Got a little distracted. Richard, Hannah from Abington, Massachusetts, my hometown. Hey there, glad you're watching. Dawn from Ocala, hey, how are you? Writing in on Facebook. And actually, Richard, I'm glad you did say that, because quite literally, as we just started the stream, my mom sent a video, and she's still in Abington, Mass, and sent a video of it absolutely downpouring. So, real quick, just because that just made me smile. Thank you for writing in there, Richard. Let's take a look at our national map, because now I'm curious. I was looking at our alert system up here, and I am noticing a good amount of severe thunderstorm warnings in the Boston area, and that ought to do it. So yeah, if anyone's in the New England area, seeing a massive severe thunderstorm warning from Scituate all the way over to Foxborough, and even Franklin Plainsville area, but right around where Brockton is right now, and I'm from Abington, so right here. Crazy enough, again, Richard, my mom is writing in that we're seeing hail bouncing off the surface of the pool, which is crazy because, yeah, you can see it even right here, right over Abington, seeing that hail. So, too funny. Thanks for writing in, Richard. So that's what we're seeing right now. What we can see, and we'll switch over to gears for Erin in a couple minutes, but I do want to kind of stall ever so slightly on the tropics. We should definitely get to Erin, though. But thank you so much, Richard, again, for writing in. Hopefully, I'll be making a visit home very soon. But it was hot today. It's still continuing to stay hot. That rain finally starting to cool things down in some areas, but staying pretty rough again in some others. So we are going to start to see more of the rain start to kick in here across our neck of the woods. So going to be seeing those rain chances slowly start to amp up as we take a look. Sunday we're going to be seeing the most widespread rain on tap, and then slowly starting to come down because Erin is actually going to be pulling in some much drier air, and that's what's going to very much limit our rain chances taking a look Tuesday and through the majority of next week. So Fritz, hopefully that answers your question a little bit. But we will definitely talk much more about Erin in a couple seconds. Heather, hey, from Sanford. Hope you're doing well, Heather, tonight. So again, I'm going to switch back and forward just a little bit to our National Weather Service chat because, again, we might be doing a little bit of live editing before our show at 8, but not seeing any tropical updates quite yet. So I am going to keep that up. So Facebook, I might be ignoring you ever so slightly. But let's wrap up the start of the work week. For a lot of students, this is their wrap up of their first week of school, which is so exciting. Hopefully you had a great start to the work week and the school year. For the bus stop forecast tomorrow as you head for your first Friday of the year, temperature is going to be lingering throughout the upper 70s, low 80s, so very comfortable tomorrow, but it will be humid from all of that rain that we got for some areas today. Going to continue to see those temperatures lingering on the warm side, and it's going to really be hot again tomorrow. We are talking those heat indices once again in the triple digits and well into the triple digits at that. If you are headed out the door tomorrow morning between 7 and 9, it's going to be through right around 80 degrees, so things are going to get hot very quickly. And as we also take a look at max temperatures for tomorrow, we're back in the upper 90s, so it is not only going to be hot, but it is going to be humid out there. We're going to continue to see those temperatures quite literally about 10 degrees warmer than what they actually are. So 110 making a run at in Gainesville tomorrow for feels like temperatures, making a run at 111 in Palm Coast, 108 in Titusville, 109 in Orlando, 110 in Winter Haven. And I know we had somebody write in from Winter Haven earlier on. So Alice, that's what it's going to be feeling like coming in a little bit. Julie, hey, from New Jersey. Thanks for tuning in. And I see a couple people writing in from the Tri-Cities. Hey, everybody. Small world. But all right, so let's actually get to feels like temperatures, and then we'll get into the tropics because I know that's what everybody wants to listen to. Peak daily heat indices, it's going to be hot tomorrow, but slowly going to start to lose that humidity as we take a look ahead into next week. Also going to be seeing that really drier air get pulled in, and that's what's going to help kind of lower those heat indices because the humidity is going to be cut down significantly. Fritz, stick around for a little bit. We'll talk about that in just a moment. I'm going to switch back and check real quick to see if the National Hurricane Center sent out their update. Nope, doesn't look like that quite yet. But Fritz, to answer your question, Fritz on Facebook asking about the AMS certification. It is difficult for sure. So you need to be in the business, I believe, for 2 years working as a broadcast meteorologist. And then you need to take a written test that quite literally goes over the entire knowledge of your meteorology career from the little equations back in school versus what you learn in the field. There's a lot to it. And then on top of that, you also need to send in a tape. And I'm not exactly too sure. I'm working towards mine now. But I'm not exactly sure the more of the specifics of what needs to be in that tape as well. But you need to pass all the phases of that in order to get your AMS certification. So great question. All right, so let's get to the tropics. I know that's what everyone wants to hear. I'm going to stall ever so slightly on the tropics update for Invest 98L, which is in the southwestern Gulf. But Erin, let's just get right to it. So here is the latest path. This is the 5 p.m. update. Next update is going to be coming out at 11. And oh my goodness, there we go. Sorry, this camera is all over the place. I think the motor is dead, but overall, hey, there we go. Much better. All right, so for the next couple of days, we are going to be tracking Erin because luckily it's not going to be making a Florida landfall. And fingers crossed, everything should go well, that we start to see that drier air kick in. And this is what's going to most likely happen with Erin. So with that, let's take a look. So this is the most recent path. This is, again, the 5 p.m. update from Erin. And it is expected to go from a tropical storm with 65-mile-per-hour winds to a Category 3 storm within a matter of 72 hours. From right now until Monday morning is when is it expected, and even now it's even by Sunday. So Sunday, we could be looking at a Category 3 major hurricane, which is crazy. And just to put that into a little bit of perspective, let's do some live analysis here. Analysis. Oops. Bear with me, folks. Here. Bring this out a little bit. So when this storm is expected to reach Category 3, we're talking about 2 p.m. Sunday. So that's something that we're going to be watching very carefully. And Sunday, I'll have the latest on that for you. But taking a look right here. So Orlando will take roughly right around where Cape Canaveral is. This is over 1,000 miles offshore, and this is going to be a powerful storm. And even by Sunday, we could be experiencing some of the indirect threats from Erin, because this storm is going to be a monster for sure. So that is the cone. Just as a reminder, so we'll play the cone one more time. We can see starting on Thursday, going to be seeing those temperatures, especially in the ocean water, really feed into this storm. And we're already starting to see that storm slow down. So at the 5 p.m. update, it was moving pretty good, 20, 25 miles per hour just a couple days ago. And with that, we're going to continue to see this storm slow down, interact with the water a little bit more, and really gain that strength. Water is, especially warm water, unlike the tropics, I'm picky when it comes to ocean water. It's that very small window between the mid 80s, low and mid 80s, probably between like 83 and 87 degrees. That's the sweet spot for tropics. And when we talk about that warm ocean water, if it has more time to interact with that water, we just see that strengthening skyrocket, and that's exactly what we're seeing right here. So again, we could be going from a tropical storm by tomorrow morning, and then let's take you 48 hours later to Sunday at 2 a.m., and that is going to be basically a Category 2 hurricane, if not a Category 3 hurricane. So that's something that we're going to be watching very carefully. Here's the latest model. So reason why we're gaining more of that confidence that it's not going to be making a landfall, at least in Florida, is because of this high pressure system right here. So with that, we have a strong high pressure system that's going to almost shield Florida. And with that, that's going to more follow this strong high that's in the central Atlantic. So something that we're going to be watching for sure. Most of these tracks are starting to focus in a little bit more, taking it in between the Carolina coast and Bermuda. And this is where we could be seeing much more of that kind of almost following the East Coast as we head into later on next week. So let's talk Florida, because of course lots of folks are watching here from Florida. Lots of people are going to be vacationing. I know a lot of schools up in New England are going to be starting school very soon. So it's going to lead to lots of people visiting before their summer vacation ends, especially across New England. But just showing how serious this storm can get, especially very quickly, we're already starting to see tropical storm watches issued for parts of the Leeward Islands. So Puerto Rico over to St. Lucia, right within that window of islands, we're already starting to see tropical storm watches get issued. So people are definitely taking this one seriously. So, switching gears ever so slightly, let's talk about Florida threats. So, most likely, we'll take the Space Coast for sure on this one. So, Space Coast, what current models / cone is saying, if we take roughly where the Space Coast is, right over Orlando, right here, and take it to the far west boundary of the cone of uncertainty. It's roughly about 450 miles offshore. So something that we're going to be watching. It's close, but not too close where it's uncomfy or just a straight up landfall. So we have a little bit of breathing room, but definitely not much. Even a Category 4 storm 450 miles off the coast, this is going to lead to life-threatening rip currents. And this is where Florida could definitely get not only the beach erosion, but if you are a surfer, these are probably fantastic conditions for you. However, for me, not so much. I'm a strong swimmer, but believe me, I do not want to be in the water with these kind of surfs out here. So overall, watching this very carefully, we could be seeing life-threatening surf from about Monday to Wednesday, really more in particular Tuesday through Wednesday. Higher up on the coast, we're talking Carolinas up through the Virginia coastline, Maryland coastline, areas especially closer to Jersey, Delaware. Possibly Tuesday to Thursday is when you're going to be feeling that life-threatening surf. And then also if you're up in New England, Boston, my friend who is also in Abington right now, Richard, is most likely going to be feeling that surf and seeing some pretty strong surf in the New England area Wednesday through Friday if this storm continues to make its way up the coast. So that is the timeline. So let's actually talk specifics. Because I know lots of folks like to boat, paddleboard. We could be seeing rough surf. 6 to 10 feet is what models are suggesting right now. Some are even a little bit more. I saw a couple models saying that they were rougher, closer to 12 feet, with a high risk of dangerous rip currents over the next couple of days. So that's something that we're seeing. I am also definitely keeping an eye on that as well, because really, again, things can change in the next couple of days. The storm very weak compared to what it's forecasted to be right now. So as the storm continues to really pick up speed, we'll have a lot more specifics for sure as we head through the next couple of days. All right, I'm going to do one check real quick to see if our National Hurricane Center has updated. And let me check over here. And no, it has not. Okay, so we're going to wait just a little bit, see if it updates at the very last second. But that's what's going on with Erin. We are still keeping an eye on a couple of things, but I do want to remind you of just the next couple of names on the list. We have Vernon, Gabrielle, Umberto, Imelda, Jerry, Karen, Lorenzo are the next couple names coming up on the list. So something that we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on, because pretty much from here on out, it's rapid fire. So where the season's awake for sure, now it's kind of just let the punches roll in. So from there, we always like to kind of look in the future. What's going to be happening next? And something that we are keeping an eye on for the future, kind of a 1-2 punch. So we have Erin right here, but we're also keeping an eye on another tropical wave that's set to roll off the coast of Africa within the next 24 hours. So something that could be outlooked very soon as we take a look through the next couple of days. So something that we're going to be watching for sure. Dang, I'm bummed that National Hurricane Center is not updating quite yet, but maybe it'll update within the next couple of minutes. So something that we're going to be watching for sure. But for now, that's pretty much it on the tropics. Well, I'll leave you with this. So another area that we're watching, this most likely will be updated within the next couple of minutes, is this little system right here in the southwestern Gulf. So right here, this is Invest 98L, and what this is going to do is kind of just chill out in the Gulf, kind of make its way inward. So this is the system right now. And not going to show percentages, again, just in case it does change within the next couple of minutes. But what we could see right here, so this is Erin. This is starting to become a very organized storm. But this little system over here, not so much. So over here, we're keeping an eye on Invest 98L in the Gulf. And this is said to either make a landfall in southern Texas or in northeastern Mexico. So most likely, probably even right on the border. What this is ultimately going to do, lead to a lot of rain in southern Texas. So that's the other little zone that we're watching in the tropics. And of course, that next wave that's coming off the coast of Africa, we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that. Let's get to your 7-day forecast, because things are going to be a little bit up and down over the next couple of days, and then we'll pretty much wrap up. Friday it's going to be hot. It's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. Same for Saturday. Same for Sunday. Not necessarily the best conditions out there by any means, but those temperatures going to come down a little bit, ever so slightly, taking a look ahead into next week, seeing those temperatures start to fall, but also seeing those rain chances fall, because as Erin kind of makes its way up the coast, it's going to be pulling in much drier air, and that's what's going to cut our rain chances significantly. So things to definitely watch over the next couple of days, and let's see if there's any fun cameras to look at, because this is one of my favorite times of the evening. Let's take a look at Hyatt Cam, because it's when the sunset was happening. And if you want to see a very cool photo, there was a severe thunderstorm over Orlando yesterday. It dropped a ton of rain over downtown Orlando and produced a good amount of lightning too. But with that, it also, the sun was coming through the storm at just the right angle that it quite literally looked like the storm was on fire. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. But one of my favorite things to do, especially during this time of the evening, we start to see these gorgeous sunsets start to pop up across the region. So if you have any good sunset photos, definitely let me know and send them to me either on Facebook or Twitter, and I would love to see them. Just taking one last look through the comments. Looks like I'm caught up on everyone, but ultimately, folks, have a great weekend. It's going to be a hot one. Maybe try to stay even inside if you can. But one thing that I definitely would suggest, and I'll pop this up here as we wrap up, things are really going to be waking up in the tropics. That's just point blank. Very typical for this time of year. So one thing that I would recommend doing is making sure that you are prepared. Making sure your gutters are clean, making sure your emergency kit is all topped off and ready to go. One thing that I did last year, and I kind of regret a little bit, was I was one of the last people to go to the grocery store ahead of Milton and Helene, and everything was picked over. It was not necessarily the smartest thing, especially coming from me. But yeah, so if you are headed to the grocery store this weekend, just make sure, again, you have those couple of extra things. Pick up those just like little extra things, because those things can definitely help quite a bit in some of those more serious situations that we can definitely find ourselves in during this time of year. And of course, I cannot find the graphic for the life of me, but you get the gist. We're going to continue to see the tropics heat up. Not necessarily clear what the cards have in mind for us for the rest of the season, but we'll definitely be here with you for the rest of the way. So make sure you have that Fox Local app downloaded. Make sure that you are following not only myself, but Jessica, Brooks, Noah, TJ, all the rest of the Fox 35 Storm team, so you don't miss anything tropics related. All right, everyone, have a wonderful rest of the evening. Congrats to all the kids that finished their first week of school. Hopefully this is the best school year yet. And tune in tomorrow, because Noah has you covered for this Fox 35 Extra stream. All right, everyone, have a great night. Thanks again for watching.